self-peel, not so hot. Getting the opportunity to take the Xayah Rakan away as well makes Viper way less able to play into a lot of these matchups and have that safe peel. So early Rakan pick on this red side, more than likely going to be Sejuani. I thought this would be a ban coming into today, but as this meta has shifted through the series, I'm surprised to see that come through.
And it's only Shun that's played it so far. There's the side. Thank you, Dad. Obviously, they were listening, and, well, they weren't, because they came up with this in game number 1.
Yep.
You can tell I'm a little bit bothered by how things have gone thus far. However, back on track here, could have an honest game of League of Legends, is now maybe something about this Sejuani ban is going to be given away here with these first couple of picks.
But the question is, do you still prioritize? Okay,
Yeah, there
there's the Jax, coming through, even though Sejuani's now taken away. Could immediately, go towards the Rakan. This is what I was saying. I think they've really identified that this is such a crucial pick.
Isn't there a Yordle with a hammer that's pretty good, though? Wait a second.
Yeah,
we kind of forgot about that, right? For the last couple of games. Of course, game number 2, it was banned. And we're just going to have a look at what the next one is going to be. Of course, Rumble into Jax. You know, you can't counter-strike a Flame Spitter, so I guess that's a theory. But the Gnar has been so incredibly strong. And this is the first 3 picks that they went in with game number 1. And yeah, round of applause.
Yeah, I'm giving this a clap for HLE. Go back to what gave them the first win in the series in game 1. They had the blue side because they had choice from losing the last game. We'll see if BLG has something better to counter it. They're probably just pairing the Xayah with the Rakan, but like at the time, HLE has so many ways of going in and out. Let's see what Elko sees. So it's actually Kaisa Rakan here.
Wow.
For more ability to go in.
And Kaisa is being banned in the second round. Every single time she's left up is what it feels like, unless it's sort of picked up by Viper, where he did manage to have some heroics, although it wasn't quite enough. So going to be locking that one away, and then they're able to get rid of the Ezreal, things like this. Although it's kind of weird, because it feels like Kaisa is a decent matchup into the Ezreal just generally, but it's Viper and Ezreal, and the rest of his team want to run away from him, so it makes sense.
I think it's just, again, getting rid of that safety, but I am curious what Knight decides to go within this mid lane now, because you don't want to go, like, I was like, oh, maybe you go LeBlanc, but Poppy exists. You maybe even shift back over towards something like an AD carry, honestly, for Knight in this mid lane. You've already got some AP damage from both the Jax and this Kaisa. Maybe even Shun going towards something that's a bit more AP focused in jungle, but I think you need something that's a little bit different than Ari.
Something like Orianna could also work.
True.
Knight's been a great Orianna in the past. It's a little bit low mobility for how rapid these games have felt.
And then you can use the Nocturne Orianna combo, but with the Kaiser instead, right? You just dive bomb the Kaiser into the back line.
Nocturne Orianna.
That's true, actually. They decided not to ban the Nocturne. I just expected that fight was going to be a Nocturne, but it's not actually the case.
The thing is as well, Poppy can still go bot. It's a decent matchup in Rakan as well. So Peanut could even end up taking away the Nocturne here. So if they show the Nocturne, more than likely that combo that we're going to see come through. But you have to take the Nocturne portion forward first, or else Peanut just takes the other side.
Well, the Kindred for Shun. He's hovering it for now. Oh my, okay.
It's in.
That's a Kindred.
So this is what I thought we might get with Shun coming back in overweight. He is the Kindred guy, he is the Nidalee guy, he's the guy that you can look to try and play around. But you are now giving those spells across to
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of
so
respite circles
all
all over the
play-by-plays.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, and a Poppy to just kind of knock everyone out of those circles. So big circles into the Venn diagram of swoop him on out of there is going to be very interesting to watch. So I think BLG are drafting a little bit into the hands of this Sylas, but it's comfort galore for them.
That's another circle. That's a real scary circle as the Galio heroically grand entrances up and available here for BLG. You love to see it. It's a tried and true combo that we've seen many, many times in the past. I feel like you could have shown me this draft like 4 years ago, make that 6 years ago, and I'd be like, oh yes, no, very strong.
Yeah, very, very meta. But really, I am excited for this game. I favor HLE's draft because I think the Sylas can still have a strong laning phase against the Galio, even though Galio Kindred or Galio Jax is really strong. Just the fact that you have Poppy to blast people away, that you have Sylas to steal ultimates and kind of do the same thing whenever he wants to, and you have the Gnar that's been unstoppable pretty much this entire series, it makes me think our chances of a Game 5 are higher than the chances of a BLG 3-1.
This game relies on Shun getting ahead early. If you can invade on this Kindred, if you can get those
can win these mid to late game team fights is in the best position. We've seen it even as early as the first grub fight, really getting these advantages. And as we dive onto the rift for game match point here for BLG, game 4. HLE once again on the blue side. Jack, you might get your wish. It might need to be 2 wins on Red.
I want to see 5 games in so many ways. For HLE here, the #1 seed of the LCK. I will say, though, for most of the year, considered the #2 team in the LCK. It was a surprise that they were able to defeat Gen G to get that #1 seed, but either one of these teams going home in quarterfinals is a massive disappointment compared to their expectations, and especially for HLE. I know we've hit it many times, but it is probably in the front of Doran and Peanut's mind, and they're attempting to push it to the back of their minds that it could just be another Worlds failure. It could be another loss to BLG.
But it's insane that it's one of these top seeds from LCK and LPL going home today. Because on the opposite side for BLG, like, they bought Knight, the kingmaker in the LPL. 6 of the last finals he was in. 4 of the last finals he has won. And he has been the difference maker for these squads he has entertained. BLG brought him across to take over from JDG, be the top team in the LPL, and they succeeded domestically. But MSI, they dropped short. It looked like in Swiss they were going to drop short. But a win here today would firmly put them as BLG are back.
It just gets them completely back on track. It would make them 2 series away from a world championship. Everything is just go right ahead.
Yeah, and also after winning the last 6 games in a row against Weibo, I don't think they're worried about a semifinal. And I don't know whether HLE can say the same thing, right? Like, Weibo can throw some curveballs. This is a dangerous team, but it looks like BLG, in the playoffs especially, had been able to find their angles. So I could imagine that they'd feel like winning this is basically everything towards getting another finals berth here for the squad. See what what they're able to make happen. Has been underneath the turret. We've got another lane swap coming on through here. Just a little bit of trivia for you, Shun. It's pretty good at Kindred, currently on a 69% win rate over 49 games. It's a lot of games.
It's another one of these kind of weird lane swaps, though. Bin's still level 1. They might be able to get this dive in fast before he can... He's saving his Counter-Strike.
Yeah, on making his way in. It's going to be a decent Counter-Strike usage, but they do manage to break away. There's the flash heroic charge as Peanut
it's tough.
Gonna have to get himself out of there, as I think that this is going to be too much. Viper tanking up the turret, and the turret is getting real angry. Bin just getting experience as this is going. And can they actually make this one happen? Gnar is coming on in relatively soon. Another Counter-Strike comes down. They get out of the way as Doran about to hit Mega. Can they get it? There's first blood going over to Viper. The knockup comes in and Doran survives.
Barely Hanwha are able to make that work, but crucially, they make that work. Bin will fall. The tower plates will go over. The interrupt comes through from On, just to try and stop Doran getting to that wave on the top side, so he can't TP to collect that. So actually a good move from On to deny that from Doran.
It is. I don't even know if that's considered a big success for HLE to just get the 1 kill. Yes, they get some plates, but Elk is level 4. He's crashing yet another wave of just missed experience on that top side. Doran's going to be behind Bin in experience as well. That was such a heroic defense there by BLG, and now Doran, who's been really far behind the last 2 games, is in a little bit of a deficit to start this one.
And this is why I love the adaptation from On. He's been taking heal into these lanes where they are opting into the swaps, because he knows, hey, all I need to do is try and keep Bin alive as long as possible. Now, he does end up going down, but that heal was crucial to that first dive not working out. On then flashing for the interrupt. Doran then has to TP to that bottom side, so he gets the wave, but Viper is massively far behind now as a result of that flash auto interrupt.
And the other thing about the importance of the Kindred in this game, Peanut spent 45 seconds diving a turret. Shun was killing camps.
Yeah.
So he's absolutely off to the races on this Kindred.
Feeling very, very good about it. And as the dust settles, I mean, the gold, that's going to be there for HLE, but what it means for the rest of the game is what we're going to have to bear in mind. And I think we need to do a little bit of a Sylas inventory to see what kind of ultimates he has up and available. I seem to remember quickness being pretty good for Sylas in the past, certainly a favorite, but the heroic entrance as well could be a huge one for delivering Zeka into these fights and being able to match Knight and the extra mobility around the map that a Galio does have.
And that's why I'd actually opt in towards the heroic entrance over the likes of, say, Kindred ult, right? Because Kindred ult will go down, but having that everyone pile on in, you want a double Galio ult to basically match what Knight is going to try and achieve there with it. So I think that's where having this Sylas is going to be crucial for Zeka. But already, we're swapping the map. Hanwha getting some turret plates back for Viper is very, nice, especially when he's already picked up a nice little bit of a lead for himself thanks to that early kill.
Yep, and we do have to say as well that Zeka in a melee matchup, as this Sylas as well, like you're favored in a matchup against the Galio, and so he could be really accelerated in this game. We'll see what BLG are going to be able to do about that, as the Grand Entrance is going to connect onto Viper, but the Counter-Strike not quite so good, as Knight and Shun trying to get something done here onto Zeka in this mid lane. Fair bit of extra damage, but the slow is good. Shun going to have to back away.
Pretty free timing on that gank by Kindred. He had the tempo to be able to pull that off, and he's just getting the Sylas a little bit low. They know he's already teleported back, so he's not going to have time to take a recall before the grubs. That might just be the ticket to let them have this objective, just getting free damage on Peanut as well.
Yeah, it's a flash in, as unfortunately you can't dance of arrows, but there's the heroic entrance from Zeka. He's like, I'm here, and Peanut is going to live. More fighting here towards this bottom side of the map, as Doran's going to have to get out of there, but the grubs should belong to BLG after all that.
Yeah, Elk hit level 6 in the bot lane, so basically did what you do to an Ezreal. Land that Void Seeker, immediately ult in, end up nearly killing off Doran, but then a good response from Zeka to cover that play on the top side. It means that Shun as well still hasn't picked up a mark. Mark was on the first Scuttle Crab on the bot side. He's now on the another Scuttle Crab on that bot end of the map. So he should be able to run down and pick this one up. But reset's coming through from BLG, and I don't think Peanut wants to let him have it.
Yep. Peanut has been
a little devil here.
Over, yeah.
Yeah, he's played against Pioshik a lot.
Is he going to get himself
so
killed?
He does know about this. Shun is going to move in though. Now On going to try and make his way out. It is going to be Peanut. Should be able to lock this one down, and he does. So denies another mark there. Not end of the world or anything like that. Of course, it is very nice to have quite a few of these marks, and accelerating towards 4 marks is, of course, exactly what you want to do. But it's not end of the world.
Yeah, the added range is going to be incredibly nice, especially with all the circles. Being able to auto-attack outside of some of the circles is big. But the sequence we just saw, I think, was actually attached to the sequence we saw right at the start of the game, where HLE had a gold lead, but we were saying BLG had experience advantages and tempo advantages, and they just cashed some of it in there by being able to get level 6 first in the bot lane, and Bin
Doran
trying to cash in more.
Yeah, in a little bit of trouble. However, he does get to his turret. Elk is now the one that's having some issues here towards his bottom side. Barrier doing a fair bit of work there. Sorry, the Guardian Shield doing a bit of work there.
We already saw Zeus in this matchup, though, be on the business end of when Bin starts to get leads like this. So Doran does need to be exceptionally careful. Didn't have the level 6 hit, and now is sitting a full level behind Bin, who's just going to keep this pressure up. He's going to start to whack away in this turret, as Elk should just be able to farm out this wave. Still, though, Viper, sitting about 600 gold lead, he should be able to back away and get a nice few items for himself. And I think that's where you're going to be looking as the difference maker for HLE. Can Viper get a good ultimate that just swings this game back in favor of the LCK first seed?
Yep, Viper, of course, being able to grab a couple of plates so far in this game. And with that advantage being on a misfortune as well, does mean that you've got a bunch of extra early game power hitting so much harder on these single items, 2 items. Should be able to help them find some battles in this early to mid game they weren't able to find in the last few games. Still, this game certainly slowing down. 500 gold the lead for HLE, but it means basically 0. And Bin versus Doran here on this top side of the map, still something that if you are an LCK fan, does make you feel very, very wary, as On taking damage continually here in this bottom lane.
But at least for now, Doran's holding his own into the Jax. He avoided the solo kill early. They did manage to actually kill him at the very end of their early dive. And as long as he doesn't overextend, the Kindred's not an incredibly potent ganker.
Oh, yep. Going to get Doran out of there.
He found him. Now it just buys the team time, knowing that he's on the other side of the map.
Well, I think it was those to poke his head in for the Scuttle Crab respawn. Again, just contest those marks that are coming through from the Kindred. So getting the vision, getting the push here from Peanut, just to make sure that they can take it right as it spawns. And I think, Shun, you have Knight at least pushing in mid, but they would love for Jax to come across for this.
Yeah, Bin now just going to try and turn this one onto a Mega Gnar, as Doran just smacks him against the wall, knows that he's not going to be able to fight this. Bin just going to be distracted by the wave for the moment.
Oh, it's a trap. It's a crab trap.
Yeah, Knight is going to come on through. Peanut is able to lock down the crab, and now Zeka looking to try and push them out of there. Shun trying to aim those arrows. Zeka's able to slow him down.
Pretty interesting there. I couldn't quite tell, but I'm pretty sure Knight was sitting on the control ward waiting for Shun because they wanted to kill Peanut, but Peanut just got the Scuttle Crab, but if Knight would have gone on him right away, he probably could have prevented it, and that's really what Shun would have wanted, because he's still denied his first mark 10.5 minutes into the game.
That is an incredibly fast Yordle. With the amount of armor that she's wearing, I'm surprised she can move that fast, but it does work out, and he's just able to step on out. And it means now, again, denied the opportunity to get those marks up. You want to try and play on towards this bottom side as well with Dragon up available, it looks like, for BLG, just the way that they've set up, but this also then gives a bit more pressure towards Hanwha on towards the Void Grubs. But BLG just happy to go for a trade on the map state right now.
Yep, looking for the Dragon in trade for the Grubs. We've seen this one agreed upon many, many times. And so BLG being able to pick up the first 3 as well means that it's only going to be an evened out Grub situation. And for the first time, we have no Void Mites, which is a bit sad because they're very cute.
It does mean that Zeka can't really approach this wave because Shun is already hooshing over. Hanwha trying to deny the dive from BLG in the bot lane with that push in mid. Knight can always join with the ultimate though, so this is very risky for Hanwha, but Zeka should be able to clear out the wave.
Yep, he is going to be able to steal away a quickness here as well. Definitely one of the more valuable in some of these skirmishes. Zeka able to rotate his way over for that mid lane once again. So Knight pushing on in. We'll be able to get that one to crash. Peanut is going to turn up as well. He's going to be able to hold that wave so that Zeka can get over and get all of the money and experience.
Yeah, currently a big fan of the way HLE has played this early game. Yes, they're down 1 early Drake, but I think the biggest problems in games 2 and 3 was been pulling ahead of Doran. Hasn't happened as of yet. Viper also a little bit off to the races. He's been shut down in the last 2 games. And of course, Zeka's just on Sylas, maybe looking to make a play.
Oh yeah, the quickness looking to try and catch Shun here, as you can see. Level 8, so does have that Lamb's Respite available, but doesn't have to use it, just going to wander away.
It's Scuttle Scraps again, though. They want to try and move down into this bot side river, and that's why you saw Shun and Knight playing hyper-aggressive, seeing if they can maybe push Peanut out, get some damage onto him, but now with Elk pushing out that wave in bot, he needs to reset, whereas you don't have that problem here for Hanwha, so I think they should just deny more of those marks away from Shun, and this Kindred hasn't worked out for them thus far.
Yeah, he is, you know how I said it's not that bad at the beginning? It's starting to get bad. It's bad, like bad. This is not good. We're going to go towards the negatives here. Still, it's going to remain on those Rift Scholars, so maybe one of them he's able to pick up. Bottom side of the map is where the next one is. Knight on, moving up towards his top side of the map as Doran needs to build up that Naba. Peanut just wants to evict someone, and he is going to be able to do so. On going to be taking a little bit of a journey away, and Zeka's teleport will mean that the play does not work. However, they did have to invest that summoner spell.
Got to the bot side, though. They were looking at a potential TP in here behind Hanwha.
There's the TP!
Yeah, TP is going to come on through, and remember, Zeka does not have his. Doran doesn't have his. And I don't think Viper's going to be escaping this one. 3 versus 2. Delight just, yeah, he's getting out of there. Viper knows that he's the tastier target, so they're only going to lose that one.
And the Scuttle Crab is still there. Shun will manage to get one for himself.
There it is, the first mark to go down for Shun. This Kindred finally going to be able to start building things up. Does need a little bit more, but there we go. Gorgeous.
3 more until it matters. Woo! Let's go. I will say, though, a nice sequence of play there. HLE thought they had a nice map play when Peanut was able to reject the dive and they could get the first turret of the game. But the ward comes in extremely clutch there, and I think it was a really nice play by BLG to teleport down and get the counter kill.
Yeah, first turret for 1 kill, though. Still probably okay for HLE as far as money is concerned. But being able to take Viper off the map for a bit certainly did help out for the tempo.
Yeah, and I think this is where they're going to unlock now. Bane again moving up towards this top side. Rift Tower is up and available, and you could potentially fight this with Static Shiv available, but it's still a risky play for BLG. You can see the Doran's on the bottom side, still no TP, so I think BLG trying to rush this with 5-man advantage.
See what they can get done here as Peanut on the blue buff right now wants to finish that one off before they do start trying to contest. It looks like contesting isn't actually on their mind, though. Zeka looking for that flank angle. The Rift Herald is going to be taken. And as we get the lane economy snapshot, it's Shun, the only one with any sort of gold advantage. It's that bottom side of the map where so much of that money has been made. Yeah,
that was a bit of a fake contest from HLE, trying to make BLG maybe peel off of it or try to burn a few cooldowns because Doran was getting so much free time on the bot side. And I do think it's a bit of a side quest this game to make sure Jax doesn't get too far ahead of the Gnar. So I'm actually totally fine with HLE taking that trade if it means Doran can get free gold.
Shun going to be spotted here as Peanut is going to be sweeping out the area.
And for HLE, they kind of now are in a position where they can take the reins a little bit. They're starting to get these big item completions coming through. The first item starting to be done. This is where you're in a position to, hey, Zeka can start threatening these side lanes. You can start looking for plays on towards mid lane as well if Elk is ever left by his lonesome. So it makes things a little bit easier now for Hanwha to open up with Delight and Peanut on the map, which is where they have been most comfortable working through this supporting jungle.
Peanut standing on a ward there, Azon has been pretty good at being able to keep up vision for his team. As Elk losing out on that trade quite considerably, especially with the Void Seeker missing. Another double up going to connect onto this Kaisa. Mid lane control, I think, firmly in the hands of Viper right now, and it looks like the last couple of games have made this guy angry.
Absolutely, and another Drake is up in 25 seconds. Viper able to get some damage mid lane, stack up his Bloodthirster shield, but Bin just free time on this turret up here, and Zeka's matching without teleport, so BLG definitely more well prepared on the map for this Drake.
Yep, Justice Punch going to get Knight into the brush, but Doran not going to be caught napping on that one.
It stops his reset though for Triforce, which is what he was really hoping for. So again, giving more space for BLG to work on this bottom half of the map. Dragon now going to be started by them. Knight is resetting, has the ultimate to get back into place. Actually, going to cancel that reset. So looks like BLG go for Dragon. Hanwha, potential trade for the topside turret here.
Yeah, it looks like Zeka without teleport. They had no intention of actually contesting for that Dragon. So it should be Earth, Wind, and Fire coming on through here as well on the cards for BLG, who have already got those first couple of Dragons.
Peanut thinking of denying that second mark on this top side of the map as well. You can see the Scuttle Crab is there, but here comes the charge.
Yep.
Rift Tower going to take it and open up at least a counter punch for BLG.
Pretty even trade across the board, and I'm just getting nervous at this stage in the game
too.
because of what's at stake for these players. I mean, Peanut's Worlds career has not been nearly as prestigious as his domestic career. Just looking at the LCK, he's been amazing, but he's definitely been labeled as a Worlds choker. I'd say this game, on Poppy, one of his best picks. He's playing great. He's looking comfortable, but the really big high-pressure moments are still yet to come. So just seeing whether or not he can overcome that and make this Game 5 happen against BLG, the team that knocked him, Doran, and Delight out last year.
And it's,
like I said, it's making me nervous.
Yeah, no, it's making me nervous as well, because what's more powerful? The clutch factor of Zeka and Viper, who have been able to win Worlds off the back of just 5-game series over and over again. Both of these players have been able to make that happen. And then Doran and Peanut that haven't been able to pass that test. We'll have to see. This game so far so good. That would get them to a game number 5. Then they'd have to probably win on the red side as well. And I think what we all want is 5 games. That's about it. There's now Peanut going to be diving out. Shun making his way in, going to be able to steal away a red buff. Very nicely done. Was that another mark?
No,
still sitting on 1. So not a great cadence when it comes to marks. 1 every 20 minutes is probably not what you want.
I mean, it's been very unfortunate. The lane swap happened. He doesn't get the mark on top side. And then the mark spawns on bottom side once more, right as you're trying to get out of base. And then every time they've gone for a play on bottom side, it's actually just spawned to the top half of the map on that Scuttle Crab. So he's been very unfortunate with the way this one has gone out. Now you can see it on the Krug there.
Yeah,
but
and I don't think marks can actually be on red buffs at this point. It's been a while since I've played some Kindred. But it is going to be on that Grump for about 4 seconds until Peanut is going to take it down. So denied once again. Shun does hit level 11 though.
The thing that I've noticed in this series, though, is that BLG have kind of got off to very quick starts and they look great, but almost team fights have come in clutch and may need it here.
Let's see what can happen as Crashdown just going to get Delight out of there. It looks like they don't want to get anything happening right now as Peanut lurking. More vision going down, as you can see. Both of them getting the information. Shun comes on over. That's going to make sure that BLG have control. And 1 minute away from Baron. Topside vision could certainly be important as Zeka is sweeping things out. Knows that that ward is there, and now looking to try and get under the turret. There's the quickness. It goes down the heroic entrance to come on in, and Zeka with that quickness makes his way to safety, but the turret cannot do that because it can't move.
Yeah, the kill would have been the icing on the cake, but the point of that play for BLG was to actually kill the turret. They had a huge amount of tempo accumulated. They got deep vision in the jungle, and then they just collapsed nicely to even that turret score. And I would say that as Delight gets engaged on.
Yeah, that's a grand entrance to come on through. Too many entrances here as the Magnet Storm is going to be the response. Viper, so much damage, and there goes Shun. Where was the respite? Lamb, what happened? Okay, well, that is just going to be a kill. And now Peanut is looking to steal away the enemy jungle at the same time. The smite is going to come through, and now this turret, is it under fire? It looks like BLG are going to be able to take down the minion wave. Good pick for HLE.
Hanwha wanted to go for that play, but you could see Bin was completely missing on that bottom side, so they invest the TP from Doran to get into the play, but I think Shun didn't want to use the Lamb's Respite with that Dragon just coming up in a few minutes' time. Wanted to make sure that at a pre-Dragon fight, he would have that ultimate available, but it's a great pick from Hanwha. The fact that they immediately jump onto him, the CC combo was fantastic, and there's just nowhere for him to escape to.
It is going to be hard for him to actually get that ult off in teamfights, though, because Poppy can stun him, and they have so many things they can chain their CC with, especially once damage gets more lethal. But what I was going to say before that fight started is, to me, this series has been BLG stacking tiny advantages through map play, wave management, vision control, and then HLE kind of trying to fight their way out of things.
Yeah.
This game, at least they have that 2,000 gold lead, which is somewhat canceled with the Infernal and the Cloud Drake in terms of who's actually winning the game. So it's going to come down to team fighting, at least on the side of HLE, and making sure they're not overly brute forcing, because BLG has had some incredible setups to objectives this series.
And the thing that's giving me as a LCK representative hope is that 1.1k next to Viper's name, which is looking pretty good moving into this stage of the game as Elk throws down that Void Seeker. And Peanut, have to deal with Wolf just for a moment. That's going to be fine. Moving back.
Pushing that bottom side for Bindo means he gets to rotate across first. So BLG going to try and gain access to the wave here, but this is so dangerous because Peanut ultimate can separate the fight and immediately start things off with a flash stun onto Shun over a wall. So this is risky for BLG trying to take this position.
Not to mention the fact that now we've got the heroic entrance being put up. There's a taunt landing onto Delight there. It takes a fair bit of damage from that Acathian Rain.
It's kind of tough for HLE to get in. They have Gnar, which will allow them to walk through a little bit, but they still don't have a great way of entering. Knight's holding that flank, and the Drake's going down fast.
Yep, Knight can always join the rest of his team as well, so it doesn't matter that he is moving away. HLE are just going to try and brute force their way in as Zeka with that heroic entrance looking to come forward. That's going to be the steal to come through. The bullet time is interrupted, that they all pile in on top of Viper, and Elk executes him in that back line. Peanut picks up his buckler, gets that shield. Shun taking down Zeka is at full health, and Knight is now trying to beat him down. Doran trying to exit this fight as Zeka is just getting thrown around like a ragdoll. Lands one chain, but it ain't enough, and it's a triple kill for Elk.
In the battle of the AD carries, it is Elk who stands tall. He had more agency on the Kaisa, and he was a secret agent in that fight. Assassinates Viper, shoves off Peanut, and immediately BLG. Are they looking at the Baron?
They're pinging on the Baron. The Kindred's going to be alive. He can run out fast. Knight and Bin are close. They were thinking about it.
Yeah, full information over to HLE as we can see here. The BLG marking it as a little bit too dangerous. Let's have a look at this fight one more time.
All eyes were on the Drake. Peanut gets the steal. Amazing. Watch the 80 carries, though. Viper starts channeling his bullet time. Bin, flash, stun on top of On's Rakan. Elk over the top. That's what really does this fight in. And even though the Sylas was able to approach the backside, that was all that was left.
And he used it on Doran, not on Viper. That's where the heroic entrance needed to be. Try and defend your guy doing the big damage.
But the thing was, it was big damage onto the Lamb's respite.
Yeah.
Shun popped it in the fight. They don't get to kill him. And Zeka's standing there kind of with his arms going, what do you want me to do, lads? Sure, there's a Kindred here, but I can't kill him. And the entire backline is being devastated.
Well, now, hopefully, we're going to reach some normalcy as you can see.
Elk.
Oh, man. Elk, massive teamfight damage. That's going to bring them back to dead even in this game, gentlemen.
We've heard Emily talk about it on the desk, but to see this man become the player that he is absolutely incredible. It was constant limit testing when he was Jomong.
Oh my.
But now we might need to do it again as Hanwha.
They're flipping it.
They're just doing Baron.
Boy.
Well, let's see what Shun can actually do here. Of course, Kindred can cause some issues as now they get the information. They are going to rotate their way over. Hanwha Life eSports, are they looking for a turn or are they looking to burn? That's going to be the question. They break the blast cone. Has now been going to take the long way around. Does not have flash up and available. This should just be a 50-50. Is On going to get thrown away by that big Gnar. The taunt going to come down, lands only onto one as they get into the back line. The charm is beautiful here from Zeka. The bullet time this time will not be interrupted. And there goes the Galio. 4 versus 3 though now, as you can see, Peanut is down incredibly low. 3k health on the Baron, and Shun, he dived back into the pit. Viper still so incredibly healthy as in they go onto the Lamb's respite. The Baron is included in this one, but it's
Shun's
kills
dead.
now.
Shun's
Shun
dead.
is dead, and the Baron is over to HLE. They'll wipe the fight. They get the Baron.
Just flip it! HLE start the Baron as 5. BLG try and contest. Zeka's holding the flank.
Look
they
at his
win
face.
The
It was
extended
ice
fight.
cold, man. You saw Zeka right there. He's like, we win these.
My
I don't know
God.
whether you always do, man.
I don't have the confidence to win those, but those boys right there do. When the chips were down, this looked dicey. Doran has to jump away, he's already used the ult. Delight by so much space. The interrupt from Peanut means that they get to kill Knight. Bin can't enter the fight, and it's the knock away at the last second from Shun. Let's Hanwha gather themselves once more.
I could not believe Shun jumped back in. I thought it was over, just let the Baron reset, but he's thinking he can mind game it with the Kindred ultimate. He actually has to use it early to save on, and then Bin jumps in, I'd say a hair early to try and get some level of execute. Viper played this amazingly,
Oh, the
and they
double
clean
up.
up.
And the counter-strike there, as you say, was a little early. He doesn't time it the second that Kindred ult ends. And it means that they're in to bring it back.
Dandy are going to need some Hanwha life insurance after this one, I think, or at least some medical attention. I can imagine that this is certainly keeping them on their toes. And if there is going to be another game in this series, they're going to have to get through that one as well. 40 seconds on this Mountain Drake, still soul point available for BLG. And 5,000 gold is what this lead has ballooned to with that Baron going down for HLE.
I just can't believe that's what got HLE here. Let's just start Baron with 5. Like, just
They
to
were
do
like,
that.
what would T1 do?
With the number of variables in the game, Kindred with Kindred R, Galio flying in after you, Kaisa Rakan being able to flank you from any angle, and it just works. And now they're in a position, 5,000 gold up, first setup on this next Mountain Drake, hoping to push us to a game 5.
In that moment, I kind of just, I want to have that thing from the Matrix, you know, where Morpheus is like, he's beginning to believe. That's what Peanut was doing when they decided to try and flip, is this is feeling a little bit dangerous here. Shun wanting to take down Zeka, you can see representing that. Wants to be able to grab a mark there, as now Zeka, with that heroic entrance up and available, they are on the Dragon now. Good flank angle here from Bin, looking to make his way forward, but they're spotting it. They know what's going on. BLG do grab control of this Dragon, though.
Bin's behind them.
Yeah.
They have no vision. They don't know where Bin is.
Yeah, Bin is now going to move on in. They spot him. That is going to be the Kindred locking down the Drake. Is now Doran. Decent position. Double circles. Double Galios. Everyone's in the sky, but it's on. That goes down now into the backline. Goes Bin. Elk's going to join in the supercharger for all of that value. They take down Viper, and the Lamb's Respite buys all the time in the world. HLE are now running for the hills. It's a double kill again for Elk, and the Kaisa is just massive in this game. They're not done yet. Knight going to get slowed down as Doran is in so much trouble. That's another bonk on the noggin, and Bin will be able to take him down. Now, Zeka, I don't think this turret is that safe because these guys are incredibly tanky, but Knight is by himself. So maybe Zeka just kind of kills him. We'll just have to see as the taunt will connect and his friends are going to right back in again with these chains as he's trying to turn it onto Shun. He goes golden. Shun is one auto from dead as they get the knock up the Kingslayer for the help. And oh my God, how is that so close?
It is punch for punch. It is circle for circle. It is everything thrown between these two teams. But the cooldowns just aren't there for Hanwha. When these fights start, the DPS is there for BLG.
The bounce back, BLG's 5,000 gold down. Not only do they get the Drake, watch the extended dive on a Diaper. It looks like the Viper dive has been repelled by the Sylas stolen Galio circle, but now watch. There's a mark on Viper, Bin can still jump, Kaisa flies in, Galio's still there. They're the ones that kill the AD carry first and shot on the backside by so much time.
And every time we look at these fights, it's that time boss. That little second that BLG need to finish someone and find their way back into the fight. And the burst damage that, in theory, should carry Hanwha with a gold lead like this is being denied. And it's BLG that are rallying here.
And a small bit to the end of that, Zeka trying to 1v3 and giving away his bounty at the end could be a tilter. That means to me he thought he needed to do that. They still had the lead. You cannot give away that 800 gold in that situation. BLG's back in it.
But Mountain Soul in 2.5 minutes. That can be the next war cry for BLG. But Hanwha already snuck away a Baron. They already played an incredible team fight around that objective. Viper just finished the Guardian Angel. Crucial items that can really be the difference maker, that can keep you here at this World Championship, or that could send you back home empty-handed.
As Peanut is really, but oh,
Catching
no, the
Elk.
heroic charge Elk is going to get caught out, and with the steadfast presence, he can't do anything, but the heroic entrance is going to be there, gets a decent knockup, but there's a Magnet Storm, as now it's Knight that's in trouble, doesn't have the same mobility as On, and he dies for his AD carry sins.
Peanut with the play. He hides in the jungle of BLG.
How is he there? I feel like we came back from looking at this beautiful stadium, and then Peanut is just there.
But these are the same traps Hanwha set for FlyQuest, the same traps that are catching BLG. And just when it looks like BLG had got their footing, it's Hanwha fighting back now. They're going to be able to get the mid lane turret, but how much more can BLG go for? I don't think they have the cooldowns for this.
But Baron's in 7 seconds. Knight is up in 20 seconds. A 20-second difference. I think they're just going to rush it. Bin is maybe getting the turret. I think they just get this Baron uncontested.
Well, we'll see what they can actually do here as the teleport in. They do not want to give this one away to Void Seeker.
Burn it!
Is going to miss. And Hanwha Life eSports Doran on a decent flank angle here. He's going to charge up that Narvar as Bin with the counter-strike. Doesn't land it onto too many as now Zeka threatening with the quickness. And Doran's hit that Mega Gnar. Bin, he goes down first. One after the other. They're looking to try and take them down as Hanwha Life eSports move back towards the Baron. Doran tanking up these Baron shots. And Shun is so dangerous.
I mean, the Baron resets. I think HLE could have stolen it.
Knight TP back in as well. He's trying to get the flank opportunity. The AD carries are just going to hit it.
Yeah, Shun is looking for a mark in the meantime. That's why we're zooming out so incredibly far. The teleport in from Doran. He's charged up all of that health once again. Missed time from On. Doesn't find the grand entrance. The Baron once again going down. Shun, good position. Dives towards Delight. Delight is going to be okay for the moment. Decent grand entrance is going to connect there as now Peanut gets the heroic charge into the wall. Knight going to take down Delight. They trade these supports as Viper in the Baron pit gets a full channel and Knight is buying so much time. Elk is also so incredibly strong. It's another one into the wall. The Lambs are spite to keep them alive, but another set of knockups. This time from Zeka and Elk. Can you do it again? Is he going to find it? The chain is going to miss. The GA comes down. He takes down Viper. He misses one. Elk is going to die, but he saves the game.
The double AD carries never really left Worlds. BLG are fighting, firing, and shooting on all cylinders, but it's only getting us back to bloody square one.
What an unbelievable game. Peanut just does not care. He hits the Baron once again. There's so many insane things to note in this fight that could have turned it. First, both supports drop, but then I literally thought it turned multiple times. Poppy W interrupts Elk's ult, which saves Viper after. It's going to come up in a second. This is the thing you need to see. That Poppy W stops the Kaisa from executing Viper right at the end there. And then Elk sidestepping Zeka's Sylas at the end to make sure it's a trade. Sidesteps that E.
And the stopwatch.
It's a 1v3. And he almost gets all of them.
The stopwatch on Peanut's ultimate. The sidestep from Zeka's chains. And he's barely able to get it. And you can see Shun, the delight that BLG were able to hold Hanwha off the Baron.
Holy moly. All right, and now we're back towards the soul fight. So
soul point.
Here we go. Shun already starting this one up. And BLG, everyone can get in at a moment's notice. Teleports down for Knight, does not matter. Heroic entrance going to be there. There it is. But On is immediately dead. Now Knight in an awkward position, but Bin with that counter-strike.
Peanut.
It's the ulti to come through from Zeka as well, but already Viper is out of this one. Elk is going to be traded. It's even footing now for the start of it, as Peanut's down incredibly low, but he runs pretty quickly, and it's Doran that's going to go down first. Giga Bin is now amongst it. He's the one that has to carry this one through as Delight running the wrong direction, and it's once again Zeka against the world, as Delight is trying to canter his way out of this one, and he might be able to get that flash off to escape as the rest of BLG
He's trying to buy time.
chasing him down. That's going to be it. The Dance of Arrows comes on through, and there's nothing that Zeka's going to be able to do about it. This should be Mountain Soul for BLG, and maybe a game-breaking win in this game.
It might just be the win. I don't see, with how close these fights have been, how you can overcome the Mountain Soul. Zeka might try something crazy with Kindred ultimate, but I think he just knows that it's doomed if he would give away his life. So big win for BLG.
And it was a slow start for this Kindred. We were lamenting the stacking that was coming through for him. But Shun has been magnificent in these fights thus far. The fact that you pick off Elk, you think that Hanwha have a chance, but Shun is still firing on all cylinders in the backline, and now they get to turn over towards this Baron once more.
It really has been that double AD carry. The fact that Shun, with the first Kindred of this Worlds groups, or Worlds quarters, Worlds in general, is doing it.
And Wei could not have done this. It's Shun coming back onto BLG after his hiatus in summer to say, I deserve to play at Worlds. We got you here last year, and I swear we will get you to the semifinals again.
That hyperbolic time chamber is one heck of a place, Dagda. I would 100% agree, but let's have a look at this fight one more time, because this started off okay after On whiffed this for HLE.
I don't know what more HLE can do, because Peanut even blocks the Kaisa entrance one more time. Shun dodging the Gnar ultimate from Doran when Doran needed to save it for the big group might be one of the things that turned it. Bin also now level 17 jacks, 3.5 items, really just able to free hit throughout this fight. And there's too many things flying at Viper for Viper to stay alive.
Yeah, and it's Shun again, like dodging away from Zeka on the chains, having that black cleaver to make him somewhat tanky, and also shred for people like Bin. But Elk, just going to push out this wave. I looked at that map, there was a lot more red members on that top half of the map, so he will be fine.
Yep, it was.
And they will start to push in.
When it was Zeka that was backing, I was thinking maybe he's going to look for something there, but like you say, a lot of bad guys in the area, and now with that Mountain Soul, with the Baron buff, now rotating around BLG, this is a huge advantage for them. Not represented in the gold or in the items just yet, but the game state should be a massive balloon of wealth to be put into this red side team. BLG look to crash down this top side.
Baron and Soul, HLE have to get such a massively clean engage, and even then, there's so much that can buy time. Galio, Kindred.
Oh, Wallop going to come on through there as now Zeka looking for Knight, but he's so tanky. This just takes way too long to try and take down the Galio as VODS going to connect onto Doran.
He's in the bot side.
Yeah, and Bin is just going to demolish this turret, absolutely. Past goes Peanut, going to be able to absorb the counter-strike, but look at this, it's just all of the structures falling, one after the other. Inhibitor 1 will go down, Inhibitor 2 soon to follow. And BLG, this has been what they've been so good at this series. That's just playing the map, and they have the control in order to do so. I think dotting these I's and crossing these T's shouldn't be too much of a problem.
And wiping these brows when this is all done, my word.
Oh my goodness.
They must be stressed as Knight. Focused once more.
Yeah, Bin looking for that wraparound as well, on wanting that flank angle. See whether he can get in there as Shun, you can see. Wanting to try and find an avenue in. More Void Seekers going to be connecting here from Elk. They are really starting to hurt. Knight going to finish off this inhibitor because we know he can just heroic entrance to try and find more. HLE, you have to fight now if you want to try and keep your world's dreams alive. This is it. It is do or die, and BLG, they can sense a rematch with Weibo. Decent interruption there as Bin can't come on through, and the channel of the bullet time is good, but Zeka kind of whiffs the heroic entrance, and BLG just stand back. They play patient, and they remove the last inhibitor, and they're now looking for Nexus turrets. So many buttons now on cooldown for Hanwha Life eSports. I think they've run out.
BLG have the TP though. Bin Reset was considering coming back into the fight, but it looks like they're just going to back away. The base is in shambles, and a stiff breeze from BLG is all it's going to take.
They are in such control of this game. Just a little bit more, and they'll make it back to semifinals. They'll have confidence in the semifinals. They have to be going crazy with what is ahead of them now. And HLE would have to make some miraculous, desperate last stand. Mountain Soul, 3 inhibitors down. BLG filling their pockets. Oh, look at the items. Look at the items on Elk right now. Max item Kaisa.
And this is the BLG everyone feared. It took them some time to show up to Worlds, but this is what made them so dominant in the LPL. This is the moment for them to show the world why they deserve to move to semifinals, why they deserve to be in the top contenders of 2024. But Hanwha have to find some way to prevent them. Zeka nearly at its full items. Maybe he can make it work on this Sylas. This has been the pick of the series, but he might be about to get picked as Knight.
Yeah, Zeka could be in trouble here. Shun doing so much damage at this point in the game. Kindred, her scaling is something we haven't really been talking about because it feels like the game hasn't let us, but Shun is so incredibly powerful now, despite not having very many marks early on. He has 7 at this point in the game. And he can shoot them from so incredibly far away. One Nexus turret stands in the way.
Trying to walk it in.
Between BLG and another date with Weibo in a best of 5. And they're pretty good at those. They're now going to dive in, looking to finish this one off. Already the turret is going to be taken down. Peanut finds a decent ultimate. Yeah, that's just the Nexus rush. Then BLG, they'll take down LCK's first seed and move to semifinals.
The #1 seed from the LPL struggled in Swiss. They were 1 game away from elimination in the last stage, but all sins are forgiven. They will now move on to the semifinals.
And that deja vu only continues here, as it was Genji with Delight, Doran, and Peanut that fell in the quarterfinals last year, and once again, it has happened. BLG now, a date with Destiny up against Weibo, did the impossible in 2023. We'll see whether they can do it again as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to hear what Emily Rand has to think of that series.
Yeah,
my word, I am stressed after that one.
Yeah, please let us know, guys. How did it go?
I think that was one of the best
my
games
gosh.
I've seen at Worlds of League of Legends. I just have to say it, and I'm equally heartbroken for HLE and for Peanut as I am happy for BLG, but it is right now HLE that we see taking their final bow at Worlds. Maurits.
For me, even though the score looks worse, particularly for Peanut,